fishing, just fishing, fishing, just fishing.
Jigging jerks, jigging jerks, jigging jerks.
Fishing,
Jigging jerks, jigging jerks.
just fishing,
Jigging jerks, jigging jerks, jigging jerks.
fishing,
Jigging jerks, jigging jerks.
just fishing,
Jigging jerks, jigging jerks, jigging jerks.
fishing.
Jigging jerks.
All right, here we go, guys. We're on the El Nino with Captain Nino.
What's up, Johnny?
There's fake Ronnie, and we'll explain the fake part. There's Gary,
Good morning.
and there's real Ronnie. And we'll explain how these two met, Ronnie and fake Ronnie. I did a video about this, and spots and spot burning. It's a long story. We're in Rhode Island. We're in Newport. We're fishing today the Crafty Rhode Island Tog Classic. Some big money in this. A lot of Calcuttas. We'll explain those. And lines in the water at 6:50. It's about 5:35 right now. We're gonna shove out in a little while. We're gonna head to our spot anchor and wait for that 6:50 call that we can drop our lines in, and we'll see how we do.
All right, here we go, guys. And with the 2022 Blackfish season finally opening in New York on October 11th, that's for the Long Island Sound, October 15th for the New York Bight, I got my first blackfishing of 2022 in with Nino and the boys this past Sunday, October 9th, during the Crafty Rhode Island Tog Classic. And as you heard in that intro, in addition to Captain Nino, we had Gary and the two Ronnies on the team, with the younger Ronnie being lovingly nicknamed Fake Ronnie. Since he's new to the team, I guess we could have called him New Ronnie, but Fake Ronnie's the name we came up with. And if you recall, Fake Ronnie had shared some numbers with me last year on a very productive spot, which I shared with Real Ronnie. And up to that point, they'd never met, didn't know each other existed. Other than Fake Ronnie having seen Nino and the boys in some of the videos I've done. Well, Fake Ronnie texted me one day in Montauk and asked if I gave Nino those numbers because they're out on the spot fishing on the exact numbers that he'd given me. Lying through my teeth, I said no, and immediately texted the other Ronnie, Real Ronnie, letting him know that he needs to deny to Fake Ronnie that I gave him those numbers should they ask. Only problem was I sent the text to the Fake Ronnie. And out of this backstabbery and treachery, a friendship between the two Ronnies was made, and here we are all fishing together. But enough of this fishing soap opera, and let's get back to the fishing here. Like I said a few seconds ago, this was my first time tog fishing this year, and this Rhode Island tournament, or tog tournament, is kind of a big deal. Lots of prize money, lots of anglers entered, 6:50 start time, where no lines in the water till then. We didn't even drop our line down to test what weights we needed. I'm not lying. They give you a lie detector test. We wanted to take no chances with this. We did not win. We did not come close to winning. A 15-plus pounder won the whole individual biggest, Blackfish Calcutta. A really good angler named Mike Sadowski. We checked in with him on Facebook. His team won the team award with a 6-bag fish limit of 48 pounds or over, 8 pounds per blackfish. Incredible. Congrats to all the winners. And really what I want to focus on this trip is the rod selection for the type of fishing I do, the light tackle jigging. And most of the day I used my VRC Jigging Jerks Tog jigging rod. And this is a rod that's made in America. It'll be available for purchase soon. I'll have details in a couple weeks on that. But this rod was jokingly referred to by Nino and the boys as the Noodle Rod. And they're not really wrong in that assessment. It's a really soft rod. But for me, that makes an absolute difference when fishing jigs 1 ounce or less, which I did all day, in telling the difference between a bite you set on and a bite you ignore. And I think it's critical. I think rod selection is critical for that. Would I use this rod in deep wrecks or, in an instance where I have to go over 1 ounce or 1.5 ounces? Absolutely not. But when there's a lot of small fish around, this rod lets you discern the difference between a small bite and a real bite. Hope you enjoy this video. As always, if you like these videos, hit that like button. And if you're not already a subscriber and you like content like this, please consider subscribing and we'll dive right into it. It was a windy day. I didn't mention that. Lots of waves. You'll hear a lot of splashing. But I got a nice fish right off the bat.
Definitely not as instantaneous when you leave the shell on.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a better one.
There you go. See, legs off.
Yeah, and shell on.
Put that one in the box. Don't breathe.
5?
Huh?
5?
No, I don't think it's 5.
You don't think it's 5? Big ones feed when they want to feed, you know? Better one, but I don't think it's going to be bigger than the last one I had. Ugh. Releasing them, right? Oh, all right. Some size coming now.
Get a lot more of it.
Shell off, eat it. There he goes. He's on it. Come on, one more. I should have said on that second one.
There you go.
Any good? Oh, nice one. All right. Yeah, a little bit. Hasn't taken a big run though. He didn't even hit. I just lifted keeper, I think. We're not keeping anymore, right? But I already have one. I don't think he's bigger. I'd rather save my spot. We're only allowed really 2 fish.
And boy, does this explanation get complicated. Rhode Island quirky rules. Private boats, 10 fish per boat, even though the limit is way more per angler. And 1 fish per person for the Team Calcutta in this event. So I can only keep my biggest. I'd rather save that second spot for a bigger fish in case I catch it, because we're only allowed 10 on the boat. So, and we're only allowed basically 2 fish each. And if we're going to be in the Team Calcutta, it's got to be our biggest fish. So a little confusing, but that's why we threw back a lot of keepers.
He woke up. I'm gonna run again. No. No, I said he's gonna run one more time. It's gonna be 17, 18, I think. Thank you. Okay, I got it. Going back, right? Or measure against my last one? The other one we know was 18.
And one more thing on the rod, and this was a big bone of contention with the boys on this day. They've never seen me using this. Sweeney and Skinner and Doc, they all know this is what we all use rods like this. Their concern is what happens if you get that 15-pounder on the line. How will this rod handle it? And you'll see the bend is in that forward third of the rod. The rod itself actually has a really strong backbone. I'm confident. I brought up 8 to 10 pound fish on this rod. I'm confident it can handle a 15-pounder, but I understand the skepticism when you see the rod bend that much. But again, it has a strong backbone. It's the forward part of the rod that absorbs all that, that bend, and I need that soft tip to be able to tell the difference in bites. I have a Penovic, a Tsunami Vic 2000 on this rod, and on the jig I'm using is an S&S Skinner 1 ounce tog jig. That's what I used all day.
Just kind of shut off. It's crazy. It's something.
I got one cod? Oh. Hello. Good job, Gary. Borderline keeper here.
And up to this point, we were fishing in the ocean, but it started getting windier and windier. Winds topped out at over 30 knots on this day. It was a terrible day wind-wise. So we were one of the few boats out. We decided to head inside into Narragansett Bay. And yeah, the current was ripping stronger in the bay than it was out in the ocean. So I needed to switch to the conventional. The 1 ounce wasn't doing it. I was not going to go above 1 ounce. And yeah, I caught fish on the traditional setup, sinker, and using a snafu rig, an Uncle Moe's snafu rig. But to me, I don't have that same sensitivity. A lot of short fish inside. Very hard to tell the difference between a big fish and a small fish when you're using the sinker rig, in my opinion, when there's a lot of small fish around and you're dealing with the getting stuck on the bottom. So we struggled for hours in that wind and that current, and finally we found a spot a little shallower that allowed us to go back to jigging.
Thank you for
Yeah, agreed.
you can't say enough how much we do right time. It is our second year.
Yeah, this is okay.
Grab that net, it's right behind you.
Nah, I don't think it needs a net. Maybe.
Stay ready.
I think it's going to be 18.
18?
Yeah, remember the rod too. It's definitely a keeper. Thank you for the net. You gonna leave me hanging? Oh, I didn't see you. Hey, that might be bigger than my first.
Yeah, I think so.
So let me snip a little off the tail.
There you go.
And remember, lie detector test, so we have to know which fish we each caught. My mark was a little slip off the tail. And this was my biggest drop over 5 pounds. That first fish I caught, we obviously killed it, so we weighed it. It was, I believe, 4.8 pounds, 4.7 pounds. So those guys were right. It wasn't quite 5 pounds. Good eyes on them. But yeah, this fish was going to be the biggest fish for our group in the tournament. Not even remotely close to winning any prize money, but fun nonetheless, especially on the Noodle Rod.
won't count. Is that good?
Roaster.
Oh yeah.
It's dead. Yeah, I'll take that. Does somebody count them?
Yeah. Can't have 10. I don't think we have 10 in there. We threw back a lot.
And we weren't remotely close to 10 in the box when we got back to the dock, and we had counted before we got back, but it was 8 fish in the box. And again, I think I might have thrown 6 or 7 keepers back myself. It was, you know, unfortunately, when you're in a tournament, you're not as worried about the meat as you are about getting quality fish. And the 10 fish per boat, private boat limit, charters can keep as many as they want or within the limits, which I think is 5 fish a man. Don't quote me on that. We knew we were limited to 10. But yeah, we couldn't keep more than that. So it really forced us, because we were in a tournament, to throw a lot of these fish back.
Ones. There's going to be a bigger one mixed in. We only got 8 minutes though, but...
Yeah, 201, the big one will show.
Right, more than likely. Hold on, something's running with it. Ah.
Rooster.
I don't see a keeper here. I don't know what you're talking about. Ah, you mother frigger got in the braid. What box? I don't know what you're talking about. I want to save a spot in there in case we get a big one in 6 minutes now.
And yeah, one of the other quirks of this trip, lines out of the water by 2. I caught that last keeper at, I believe, 154. That was going to be it. That was going to be our last keeper. And we had room for 2 more fish in the box, but I was really hoping that the guys, somebody else in the last 6 minutes, would pull off a big one. But alas, not to be. Had a great time with these guys anyway. Thank you, Captain Nino, for just introducing me to Newport. And I fished here before, but never really stayed in the town before. Amazing town, a lot of fun. Let me know what you think of the Noodle Rod. I know it's a little controversial because it bends so much, but for me, like I said throughout the video, that's the difference between being able to tell when you have a small bite and when you have the right bite. And again, maybe if you're fishing an area that only has big fish, it won't make a difference, and a stiffer, heavier duty rod is the right way to go. But the areas I fish, we have a lot of small fish mixed in, and this is that, in my opinion, the difference between being able to tell that small fish versus that big fish. As always, if you like these videos, hit that like button. And if you're not already a subscriber and you like content like this, please consider subscribing.